I've already made a few videos about this phone right here. The 113 is a flagship in every sense of the word, and now we have it with us. Let me show you what's going on. Now, it's not just that it has flagship specs. It's also got this really cool design on the back. So they're calling this colorway 2025 Arctic Dawn. And what makes it special is that it's inspired by, as they say, the colors of the northern lights in Iceland. Now, if you look at it closely, there's a sort of ripple pattern to it. And when light hits it at different angles, it seems to change colors very subtly. What I like is that it doesn't attract a lot of fingerprints and smudges. So from a practical standpoint, it's pretty easy to keep clean. The frame of the phone is aluminum. We've got stereo speakers and everything. This phone will be available for pre-order starting today. You can get it with either 13 or 16 gigabytes of RAM and up to 512 gigs of storage. And this one that we have with us is the 16 gig version. You can choose between the two SIM or dual SIM configuration. This is an unlocked phone for AT&T, T-Mobile, etc. in the United States, and it's running a near stock Android 14. Let me tell you how much I love this display, because it is one of the best that I've used in any smartphone. It is a 6.7-inch AMOLED panel, and it offers a true 120 Hz refresh rate. So unlike a lot of phones that offer high refresh rates only for certain things, like gaming, this one supports it across the board, so you get a super smooth experience, no matter what it is that you're redoing. It is SLTP0, so it can go down to as low as 1 Hz. When you want to conserve battery life, it is protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 2, and it has a maximum peak brightness of 1600 nits. That's as bright as some laptops. I mean, a lot of phones top out around 1000 nits, so this is truly very, very bright. And it's great for using outdoors in direct sunlight. But it also goes as dim as 1 nit, so it's great for use at night. OnePlus says that this is one of the least reflective displays on any smartphone. I think they might even say the least reflective. But when you hold it up next to other smartphones, you can see that reflections are kept to a minimum. Of course, we've got HDR10+ support and everything else that you would expect from a flagship display. Powering this phone is the new Snapdragon 8 Elite, which isn't quite the latest and greatest, but it's still plenty powerful for anything that you'll want to do on a smartphone. And with the higher-end chips like this, it's more about efficiency than anything else. In my brief time with the phone so far, I've been impressed with how quickly apps open and close, how quickly the fingerprint scanner unlocks the phone and everything else. Like I said, we've got 16 gigs of RAM on board, and the storage is UFS 4.0. It also comes with a new generation of Wi-Fi. This is Wi-Fi 7, and while most people don't have Wi-Fi 7 routers yet, it's nice to know that the phone is future-proofed. There's Bluetooth 5.4 on board, and of course, all of the mobile carriers that you would expect. On the bottom of the phone, we've got a USB-C port and a single downward firing speaker. On the right side, we have the power button, an alert slider, no headphone jack, no microSD card slot, and no removable battery. This one does come with an 80-watt SUPERVOOC charger in the box, as well as a USB-C cable and a case. Now, the battery capacity is 5000 mAh, which is actually smaller than the previous first phones. The reason for that is that we have the newer charging technology on board. Not only does this support the faster wired charging, but it also supports 50-watt AIRVOOC wireless charging. That's up from the previous generation, 50-watt. The wired charging is pretty speedy as it is. They say that you can go from 0 to 100% in about 30 minutes with the wireless charging. That bumps up to 48 minutes. You can also reverse wirelessly charge other devices from the OnePlus. For example, we just reviewed these OneBuds, and you can charge them from the back of the phone if you want. In addition to the new charging tech, we've also got a new camera ISP or image signal processor on the 8 Gen 2 Elite. This is designed to help deliver better images and video from the cameras on the phone. And they've also partnered once again with Hasselblad for their camera experience. Now, you won't find a Hasselblad branded app on this phone. Instead, they've worked together to tune the color, science, and image processing of the native OnePlus camera app. If you're familiar with Hasselblad and their camera systems, you'll know that they're usually pretty expensive and professional grade. So it's cool to see their expertise brought to bear on an affordable phone like this. We've got a triple lens setup on the back of the phone, and the main sensor is 50 megapixels with optical image stabilization. That S paired with an 8-megapixel telephoto lens with 3 times optical zoom and a 48-megapixel ultra-wide lens. That main camera can capture 4K video at 120 frames per second, 8K at 24 frames per second, and the telephoto lens can do 4000 at 60 frames per second. When it comes to the selfie camera, it's 32 megapixels and can do 4000 video at 60 frames per second. In twos, that S the same price as last year OnePlus 12. That was $799, and this one is $799, so technically the same price. But if you remember last year, they dropped the price a couple months after launch. So it wouldn't be surprising if we saw this drop over time. It is a lot of phone for the money and flagship grade. Performance with a flagship grade display and plenty of power under the hood. Let's talk about the design. This colorway is really, really cool. They're calling it 2025 Arctic Dawn. If you've ever seen the Northern Lights in person, you probably know that the colors aren't always just green or just white. Sometimes they're pink, sometimes they're yellow, purple, red. It kind of depends on the chemicals that are reacting in the atmosphere at the time. This phone tries to capture a bit of that color palette, and you can certainly make out the swirls and patterns that you might see in a sky full of northern lights. Very cool design. It doesn't attract too many fingerprints. It's subtle. It's not overbearing, and I think most people will really dig it. And if you're not into that, there are other colorways available as well. One of my favorite things about this phone is the display. It's got everything that I could possibly want in a display. Sure, there are some phones out there that have foldable displays and flip phones and stuff like that. But for a traditional phone, this one really nails it. It's big enough to be immersive, especially for watching content. It's bright enough to use outdoors in direct sunlight, dim enough to use at night without hurting your eyes. It's smooth as silk with that high refresh rate. It's sharp with its QHD resolution. I just don't know how OnePlus does it, because their phones have always had great displays, but they seem to be getting better and better. This is definitely one of the nicest that I've used in some time. But what about you? What do you think of the first 13? Would you consider it over something like the Pixel 8 Pro or maybe the iPhone 15 Pro? Let us know in the comments down below. And thanks for watching our 113 coverage. We've got lots more coming.